Alright guys, TacticalRab here again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. Crazy day in the Valorant world. Massively important matches in the North American region we are going to dive into. The implications of this are incredibly crucial indeed, but also incredible news potentially coming out of the European camp that G2 might be looking to drop their roster, and rumours that they might try and pick up the former Gambit lineup to replace them as time progresses. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Rocketing towards 20,000. That's going to be a crucial milestone when we get there. Let's dive into things then. So firstly, I mean, look, Plat Chat, they're at it again. We'll talk about the Guard versus NRG series here in a few minutes' time. But firstly, we've got to talk about this. Now, this came out from Dr. Alpha. Now, look, I don't know this guy's real history in breaking stories of this caliber, but he is suggesting, sources say, G2 will disband their Valorant roster. Now, look, I don't know if this is effectively, look, they've been looking pretty slow lately. They're not qualifying for the playoffs. They're in a pretty tough spot. Like, the project hasn't really worked out too well for them, and they might be thinking, going into the rest of the season, they might well go down a different route. Now, of course, we'll have to see if they do disband their roster, who they pick up. Now, initially, people like George saying, who actually, we don't really know what the sources are like from Dr. Alpha right here, but based on the replies and the kind of impact that this has had, I would say, like, there's probably some degree of credibility behind this. Now, whether it's actually going to happen or not is another question mark. But George Getter's kind of more reputable, more stories broken in the scene, says, from his perspective, two sources have denied this G2 information. The players have not been informed of any decision like this, as I have been told. I'm not saying the reporter is wrong, just that my preliminary information suggests otherwise. Effectively going on to say, now we'll look at this from Red Guy here right now, but effectively saying that, like, look, if G2 are doing this, they haven't told the players about it, which, maybe they're actually, maybe that's true, right? Maybe they haven't told the players, maybe they're screwing over the players, leaving them in the dark, and still actually going through with a move like this, potentially for, well, Red Guy and the guys over at M3 Champions, formerly Gambit, right? So that's the thing. Gambit, great team, as of late, haven't been looking so good. Doubts as to whether they'll even actually be able to qualify for the playoffs. We'll see that here in a couple of minutes' time. But still, championship caliber-esque team that under an organization might do something pretty special for the remainder of this year. So rumor has it they might be interested. And of course, Red Guy kind of jumping in on the bandwagon right here, dropping this one in. But as George Getter says, the M3C to G2 rumor is not true. I've just been told. Also, not to sign Luminosity apparently as well, as he mentions here in the replies. And then saying that, like, look, this speculation that's going on, if it is true, the G2 players have been severely screwed over by being left in the dark. So we shall see. But the rumor has it, G2 potentially are going to be gone. M3C potentially your targets. But it's speculation. We don't really know what's going to happen here. We shall stay tuned for the coming days to see if anything happens on this front. But of course, you know where to come to stay updated on that matter. Let's dive then into the European side, where G2 of course are competing. Not playing yesterday though, because Na'Vi take down Guild. Important series victory for them. Really makes things kind of spicy in that group actually now. But the Guild go down. They're still the number one seed Guild. Not too much of a big deal for them. But still, Guild were looking so strong. They lose to a team like Na'Vi. Na'Vi obviously good team as well, but this was certainly an upset. And then the second series was Focus versus OG London, a team that we expect actually OG London to get a spot in the franchise world next year. And we know that Focus have been good. I feel like they've been kind of, it's almost like the NRG in a sense Focus of stage 1 in North America, where they're a good team. They seem to put up good fights against everyone they play, but just could never win. And finally they won a series right here against OG London. So that leaves the groups looking like this. So Group B is not yet done and dusted. Fnatic play G2, I'm guessing today, and then BBL play Big to close out Group B. So the thing that makes this kind of spicy now is we already have a tie break between 2 and 3 between M3C and Na'Vi. Now M3C are currently winning this tiebreaker because they won the head-to-head. But one of these teams, BBL or Big, will go 2 and 3. That will create a 3-way tiebreaker at 2 and 3. Now I'm pretty sure the way it works with a 3-way tiebreaker is they look at the map counts between the tied teams. Now if BBL beats Big, that will mean that M3C, Na'Vi and BBL are all tied at 2 and 3, and M3 champions beat both of those teams, have a positive map count, therefore they will be the team that goes through in the 3rd seed. So they need to hope that BBL beat Big. If Big win though, on the other hand, it's then a 3-way tie between Big, M3C and Na'Vi, and then in that case, because Big took down M3 champions 2-0, they, I believe, have a favourable map count in that situation, and they will be the 3rd seed. So I think that's how it happens. That makes sense to me, but either way, BBL aren't really going to make it, right? So Big still have a chance. So they honestly, Big have more to fight for in this match than BBL do, right? So I honestly kind of would favour them to do it, but it kind of would be crazy if M3C don't even make it to the playoffs. But we'll see how it goes, because other big name teams also not making the playoffs in other regions, one of which was going to be either NRG or the Guard. Do or die for both teams. Winner goes to playoffs. Let's go, as he says right here. Now let's dive into this series. NRG don't like to tweet too much about this, so most of the clips here are going to come from the Guard side. But they win game 1 here on the binds. It goes 13-11 in their favour. Massive map win for them. Like, I mean, look, the Guard needed to win this. They were, of course, the champions of Stage 1 playoffs. Like, they've got 200 points in circuit points. If they made the playoffs here, like, they were in a good spot to lock up another few set of points and probably be, if they played their cards correctly, the second seed for the North American side, guaranteeing their passage through to champions. Losing this series, though, has now put them in a very different boat indeed, because they win the game 1, they then lose the game 2. This is kind of a crazy round here, actually, from Trent. Not sure how he killed some right there. Seemed to be jumping around, still got the kill anyway. So the Guard trying to stay alive here on the game 2 on Haven, but eventually NRG win it regardless. They just about take this one over line, despite, well, a crucial clutch here from Net to keep the Guard in the game. But, I mean, yeah, NRG, honestly, like, I've been looking for a performance like this from NRG for quite some time. They, again, like, they look really good in the online stuff. They come to a situation like this, like, in the actual main event itself, and then just can't seem to actually win a series, kind of like how they were last time around. But so, yeah, NRG take it to a game 3, and then, like, I've got to put this on the big screen for you guys. One of the best clutches I've seen probably so far this year. I think there's no doubt about it, really. So, anyway, this is some EU on the side, of course, of NRG. This is such a crucial round, momentum-based as well. They're up 8-2 at this point on the defensive side here on Split, and this is a round that you can't lose if you're the Guard. He gets the first kill, gets the second, and look at this. Jonah P peeks, Net peeks as well, hits all the clean headshots, and then completely reads Trent coming in behind him right here. Like, his teammates go absolutely insane after this clutch, because, I don't know, so who can blame them, because that was, like, just disgusting. Of course, look, to win a clutch like this, you've got to have mistakes from your enemies. Like, I mean, honestly, I think this is really the key mistake here. The first 2 kills, it is what it is on Valin and Sire player, but then at this point, Jonah P decides to peek. If he's going to peek, Net has to peek at the same time. They really don't even need to peek anyway, to be honest, because they're still a 3v1. They have full control of the bomb site, but they do decide to peek, throw away the 2 kills, and then he completely reads Trent coming behind him. Like, honestly, just a phenomenal clutch. And that wasn't the only 1v5 of the day, but that certainly gave them the momentum. They won this final map on Split 13-6, taking down the Guard, and NRG officially are the team that advances to the playoffs. Not an easy playoffs run for them at all, but as Ethan says, let's go playoffs, baby. Insane composure from the team. Thanks, EU, for winning us that one, right? Because that was a key momentum switch, and as Som said, about time we win something insane round from him. With that, we qualify for the playoffs. But on the Guard side, that's tough, right? As Net says, losing is learning. I'll be a genius after this month, right? But yeah, gotta get better, he says, because that's tough scenes for him and the Guards, because now, like, from looking like a great team, after, of course, how everything went down at Masters, and even before that in Stage 1 last time, when they won the entire thing, beating OpTic in the finals, and that crazy Game 5 on Haven it was, like, if they just qualified here, they give themselves a great chance of being that number 2 seed from North America to guarantee their passage to champions. Now, they're going to be in the LCQ, and that means that, they've got 8 other teams to fight against, or 7 other teams to fight against, if they even want to get their chance to go to champions, right? So from looking like a, pretty much a shoe-in position, if OpTic are going to maintain their dominance in the region at the playoffs and stuff like this, then now they're in the LCQ officially. So tough scenes for them at all, and this is the thing from the Sentinels front, right? They wanted the Guard to win, because they needed NRG to lose, so that NRG, kind of stayed behind them in terms of points. NRG qualifying, though, now, does that make it harder for Sentinels to qualify? If they beat Cloud9 tonight, they're still in with a decent shout of doing it. But that victory, yesterday definitely makes it harder for them, but it's good that Sentinels even know what's going on, right? They understand, dapr understands the fact that series was important for them, and he says that, what the hell was that? Losing in that kind of a situation. And the issue also is for Sentinels is that Ghost right now are behind them, but Seal says that he's pretty confident Ghosts are going to Copenhagen. He reckons those guys are just so good. Those guys are screwed if NRG doesn't troll the rest. Having said that, I've seen worse trolling. So he reckons, like, effectively, look, dapr and the guys on Sentinels need to beat Cloud9 tonight. If they don't, they're probably chalked. If they do win it, then they effectively need NRG or FaZe to bomb out of the playoffs, at which point they can still make it through. But and they eventually also need Ghost to do the same. But Steel reckons Ghost are absolutely disgusting, and who can blame him given their performance here? So this is kind of the breakdown here from Sky. Effectively, they need to win. If they do win, they'll be ahead of a couple of teams, which they will then need to bomb out of the playoffs, right? But if they lose, it's probably all over, right? They could have really done with the Guard winning yesterday. That would have given them, it would have kept them above NRG, at which point I think they would have been safe for at least the LCQ qualification. But some have wondered whether they should even get to qualify for that, just because if they do qualify, it gives them arguably less time to rebuild or whatever they want to do for next year. But of course, there's the whole partnership ecosystem league as well that is in the discussion right now. But yeah, 2-1 over the Guard for NRG. Great series from EU, honestly, on the whole. Like, this guy was honestly out of control. Game 1 on the bind went to the Guard. Game 2 Haven 13-10 in the end, and Split, it was, look, that plus 15 on the fades. 416 ACS. Ethan was there or thereabouts as well. But that 1v5, man, that was just truly something special. But it wasn't actually that special, because there was another 1v5 on the day. That came in this map, 100 Thieves versus Ghost. 100 Thieves started out this map great. I thought they were probably marginal favorites for this series, but we know everyone has said for so long now, how good the Ghost guys are, and they proved it again this series. This is a massive series, actually, because 100 Thieves because winning this would have given them the number 1 seed, which would have been massive, right? Number 1 seed of the playoffs is big, as we've looked at the last few days, gives you a bye through to the second round of the winners bracket. Now, yeah, number 1 seed, of course, everyone wants to get it, and that has now been determined in Group A by, well, the XSET guys. But look at this 1 versus 5. I have to bring this back to the start, actually. I guess this should go on big screen as well, because Bang gets, well, 5 kills right here. 1, 2. The first 2 kills are not even looking his way. 3, 4. That kill on Brook was just disgusting. And then he finds himself in a 1 versus 1. Like, he's up against a Proto right here. Takes his time a little bit. Just, I mean, he's got a minute on the clock. Doesn't have to, wait too long. He can just, sit here, take his time, and eventually finds the final kill regardless. Like, honestly, just a ridiculous 1 versus 5. Not quite as pretty and aesthetically pleasing, maybe, as the first one, but still, another 1v5. And you think, okay, after he wins that, like, you've got to give credit to Ghost here, really, for the mental resilience, because you get 1v5'd, you wouldn't be surprised if they just lost every single round after that for the rest of the map. It doesn't happen, though. They still win this map, actually. And this, honestly, look at Nismo right here. Look at this kill that he gets on Bang. Nismo's got the classic, comes around the corner, from 150 health, just gets absolutely bopped across the map by Nismo. This guy is honestly out of control. So game 1 goes their way, and game 2 does as well. This is a crazy stat from Welters, actually, right here. 100 Thieves had lost 5 post-plants all year before today. There were 44 out of 49. After just round 7 of map 2, they've already lost 5 post-plants to the Ghost Gaming guys in this game. So Ghosts are just out of control. Like, maybe 100 Thieves thought this was going to be easier than it was. But, I mean, yeah, still 13-6 in the end to Ghost on this game 2 as well. Dominated that match, and as Nismo says, not even close. Screw everyone who doubted us. We finished 4-1, did it for XSET, right? So this guy, like, he's definitely speaking with some confidence right now, and who can blame him the way they're performing at the present time. As Derek says, 0-2 versus Ghost, looking scary right now. GG to them. First seed would have been very nice indeed, but again, still going to prep for playoffs. Brook, a Proto, Nismo, they're absolutely killing it this series. I mean, the other guys certainly did their job as well, but 13-11 on the breeze in the end, bouncing back from that crazy rounds. The Bang managed to win and taking the icebox as well in pretty dominating fashion in the end. Asuna had a really hard time in this map, and a Proto goes 28-11 on the final map of the series. That leaves the groups looking like this. So they finished off Group A yesterday. So today there's 2 Group B games, but this is how the group stands. XSET number 1 seed, 4-1. Ghost number 2, 100 Thieves number 3, NRG number 4 seed. So XSET get a bye in the winners bracket. NRG will start in losers. Guard and TSM out of there, of course. And Group B, this is a crucial one today. So OpTic versus LG, that determines the number 1 seed in the group. And then Cloud9 Sentinels doesn't really mean all that much, but Sentinels have to win realistically if they still want a good chance to make it through to the last chance qualifier. But very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Told you YouTube God, just like a video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive VALORANT community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.